Hi, everybody. This is Jackie Bryan, registered nurse, whole health educator, functional nutritionist. So nice to be here today to talk to you about a very interesting topic that you might have heard a little bit more about in the news recently, and that is vitamin D. Now, one of the reasons that you've been hearing probably a little bit more about vitamin D is because there's been some preliminary research that's coming back that's showing that people that have lower levels of vitamin D are not doing quite as well when they get the coronavirus. So this is pretty important information. But before you make a decision to supplement or do anything like this, I'm suggesting that you check with your physician to check your blood levels to be sure that supplementing would be right for you. This video is actually going to cover information about ways that you can boost your vitamin D naturally. And so I thought this might be a great topic for us to move forward with this week. So vitamin D, what is it? Well, it's estimated that about 40% of Americans don't get enough vitamin D in their diet. It's known as the sunshine vitamin, and it's actually made from the cholesterol in your skin when it gets exposed to the sun. It can aid in calcium absorption. It helps with mineralization of your bones. But what you might not realize, it plays a very significant role in your immune system. It actually enhances the pathogen fighting macrophages and monocytes, which are part of the white blood cells and also immune fighting cells in your system. So you can see that's a pretty important thing. How much do you actually need of vitamin D? Well, as I suggested early on, that's going to vary depending upon what your individual needs are. There is a significant amount of debate in the medical community. For example, the National Academy of Medicine is recommending between 600 and 800 IUs of vitamin D per day. But the Endocrine Society is actually recommending 1,500 to 2,000 IUs per day. So pretty much it goes back to what we talked about early on. If you plan to supplement, you probably want to get your levels checked prior to doing that. But if you're not interested in supplementing and wanting to learn more ways that you can increase your vitamin D naturally, then listen on, because we're going to be talking a little bit more about that moving forward. So what are some ways that you can increase vitamin D in your body? Well, the first one is spend time in the sunlight. It is called the sunshine vitamin for a reason. And there's three things to think about when you spend time in the sunlight. The first is your skin tone and your age. Those actually play a role in how well your body can absorb the sunshine to make vitamin D. So skin tone, people that have darker skin tones have more melanin in their skin, and melanin is actually something that will block vitamin D production. So the lighter your skin tone, the least amount of time that you need to spend in the sun. And age also plays a role. The older we are, the less able we are to produce vitamin D as effectively. So age and skin tone will play a role in that. The second thing is your geographical location. The closer to the equator you are, the more vitamin D you'll be able to produce. And then the third is sunscreen and clothing. So when you go out in the sun, and if you're looking to boost your vitamin D, you want to expose as much of your body as possible. And the reason for this is you want to give your body enough surface area to expose the sun so that cholesterol can help with the conversion of vitamin D in your body. What's really interesting about sunshine as opposed to supplementation is we know that sunshine actually stays in your body longer when it's converted to vitamin D than it would if you were actually supplementing. So what's the recommended amount of time that you spend in the sun? It's kind of a fine line because you don't want to burn, but it's anywhere from a minimum of 8 minutes to about 20 minutes, usually around, especially in this New England area, around 12 or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That's going to give you the biggest bang for your buck when it comes to vitamin D production. Now, in other areas of the country, it might be different, but spending 8 to about 20 minutes in the sun, exposing as much of your arms and legs as possible will help you get the most benefit from the vitamin D. So how can you get vitamin D in your food? That's another really great option for us. Well, just consuming 3.5 ounces of salmon, even canned salmon, can provide up to 50% of what's recommended for vitamin D a day. So it's another perk for salmon because it also has some wonderful omega-3s that can offer some anti-inflammatory and heart health benefits. But there are some other seafoods that are also able to help you boost your vitamin D, and that would be things like tuna and mackerel, oysters, shrimp, sardines, and anchovies, if any of those excite you. Another plant-based option for getting more vitamin D in your diet is to consume mushrooms. What's interesting is that mushrooms make their own vitamin D when they're actually exposed to light. So that's a really neat way to get them in. The vitamin D content in mushrooms can vary depending upon how they were grown. So it's important for you to know your sources, and you also want to make sure you get safe sources of mushrooms as well. Egg yolks is another great option for getting vitamin D. It's kind of an easy thing to add into your routine every day if you're interested. That vitamin D content will also vary. It has been shown that if you eat eggs that were from pasture-raised or free-range chickens, that you can get 4 times more of vitamin D than if you got just regular chickens. So again, that's another perk for getting those free-range organic chickens. You can even get vitamin D in some of the foods you eat every day that are fortified. And so you can get them through plant-based milk like almond, hemp, or soy. You can get them in cow's milk, orange juice, fortified cereals, and even certain types of yogurts. But you want to read the ingredient label to make sure that it's filled with the good stuff. That ingredient list is going to give you lots of information as to the quality of the sources. Now, if you feel that you might not be able to get in enough in nutrition or even out in the sunlight, then supplementation might be an option for you. But again, as I suggested early in this video, you want to make sure that you know where you're starting from. So you want to take either, it is possible to overdo vitamin D, and you want to check with your physician to make sure that you have no prescriptions or anything that would interfere with some of the supplements that you're taking. So that's always important. So this video series that we've been putting together, that I've been putting together, has really been focused on putting that oxygen mask on yourself first, making sure that you know some of the strategies that you can implement in your life to keep you safe and healthy during this challenging time and during this pandemic. I put the sunflowers up here because they're one of my favorite flowers. They're strong, they're bold, they're bright, just like all of you. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if I can answer any questions for you, please feel free to reach out to me email me at JackieBryan.com. Have a great day, be safe, and be well.